There was a time when power was not traded in boardrooms, nor plotted in palaces, but brewed in steaming cups of a strange, bitter drink, coffee. Across the rising empire of Britain in the 1600s, a quiet revolution began. Men gathered in dim-lit rooms, not to drink ale, but to trade ideas, information, and futures. From these humble coffee houses emerged global finance. Welcome to the Untold story. Title card appears. How coffee houses invented global finance. The Untold 1600s economic revolution. Coffee arrived from the Ottoman Empire, first tasted in London in 1652. At first suspicion, it sobered men, it sharpened the mind. The church called it the devil's drink, but merchants recognized its power. Local taverns clouded judgment with ale. Coffee houses awakened intellect. Soon people said, penny universities, because for a penny, one could enter and learn from scholars, sailors, and financiers. Ideas flowed faster than the coffee itself. And slowly, these rooms became the nerve centers of capitalism. We moved to Lloyd's Coffee House near the River Thames. There, ship captains, merchants, and underwriters exchanged news from across the world. London's empire depended on ships filled with spices, silk, and gold. But the seas held danger, storms, pirates, war. In Lloyd's, risk became a commodity. A captain would enter. I sailed to the Caribbean. Men would sign their names beneath a contract, promising compensation if disaster struck. They were literally underwriting. Thus was born Lloyd of London, the world's most powerful insurance market. A financial pillar still standing today. A cup of coffee created an empire of security. A short walk away, another coffee house wrote a different history. Jonathan's Coffee House. Here, traders pinned lists of prices for shares in new trading companies. Dutch, Asian, African enterprises. And then one changed everything. The East India Company. A corporation more powerful than kings. It built armies, made treaties, conquered continents. And what financed this empire? Shares traded in a coffee house. Jonathan's became the birthplace of the London Stock Exchange. Investing, once limited to nobles, now open to merchants, shopkeepers, even adventurous workers. Dreams and fortunes were bought in sips. Coffee houses invented something modern viewers will know well. Breaking news. Every new ship docking from India or America carried rumors of prices. Spices rising, silver falling, wars brewing. News brokers sprinted from docks to coffee houses. Those who knew first became rich first. Speculation accelerated. Information became currency. The world was no longer local. Finance became global. Not all revolutions bring fortune, some bring disaster. In these coffee houses, investors poured money into wild dreams. The South Sea Company. A monopoly promised riches from South America. Rumor turned into mania. Shares skyrocketed. Ordinary men became millionaires, only to lose it all overnight. The South Sea bubble burst, bankrupting thousands. A lesson. Where coffee brews opportunity, greed brews collapse. From this tragedy, regulation was born. Financial systems learned the price of hope without discipline. Coffee houses were the first networking hubs. Politicians, bankers, scientists, all in one room. The Royal Society met in a coffee house. Journalists printed Britain's first newspapers based on rumors heard there. Writers signed publishing deals over a cup. These rooms democratized knowledge, made finance public and innovation possible. Information that once belonged to kings now shaped the hands of common men. From these noisy wooden tables came modern insurance, global stock exchanges, commercial law, financial journalism, corporate empires, investor capitalism. Today, when you open a stock trading app, watch market news, or buy insurance, you are living inside the legacy of coffeehouse finance. What began with sailors and merchants now drives trillion-dollar markets. Finance did not rise in silence. It was caffeinated. Not everyone celebrated this new world of ideas. Kings feared them, priests condemned them. Because in coffee houses, people spoke freely. Critics said, "Coffee houses ferment rebellion." When Charles II heard citizens debate politics over cups of black brew, he attempted a national coffee ban in 1675. Public outrage exploded. Merchants protested, scholars united, and the decree was withdrawn in just 11 days. For the first time in British history, public opinion overpowered royal command inside tiny cafes. These rooms were not merely drinking spaces. They were birthplaces of democracy. Ideas that shook thrones came from wooden benches, not golden palaces. Banks once served only kings and nobles, but coffee houses changed that balance forever. Goldsmiths set up desks inside popular coffee houses. They protected merchants' gold, issued receipts for safekeeping. Soon, those receipts began circulating as money itself. It was the earliest form of banknotes. And so emerged the Bank of England, 1694, funded inside a coffee house, to manage the nation's debt, to finance wars and trade expansion. A public bank, born from a public drink. Finance left the palace vault and began beating in the heart of the city. Though coffee houses were mostly male spaces, women played a silent power role. Behind the counters, women owned and operated many coffee houses. Every conversation passed through their ears. Every deal signed under their roofs. Some women became secret investors, information brokers, financial influencers of their time. The economy was not built by men alone, but brewed by women who controlled the flow of coffee and the flow of opportunity. The revolution included silent architects. Before coffee's arrival, Europe ran on beer and wine, even for breakfast. Workers lived in a mild haze. Thought slow moved slower. Then came coffee, a wake-up drink. London's productivity soared. Factories ran longer. Merchants calculated faster. Writers penned with clarity. Economists call it the great sobering of Europe. Industrial growth, scientific breakthroughs, economic ambition. All surged because one drink replaced another. Coffee did not just warm bodies. It electrified minds. From the first sip poured in a tiny shop to the skyscrapers of Wall Street, this story remains unchanged. Every financial revolution begins with people gathering and talking. So the next time you sit in a cafe, scrolling through market news, or planning a future business, understand this truth. You are continuing the 400-year legacy of the world's most powerful beverage, a drink that turned conversation into capital and invented global finance.